With the final week of the regular season upon us, the final games being wrapped up, it is in this final stage that one of the bigger matches is happening. Two of the top teams in the region facing off in a match where they're both already pretty much secured top 8. There's no way they can get knocked out. But it's still about the ego, right? It's still about winning. It's still about placing as high as you can. My name is Gio. I'll be joined by Cavo today as we cover the match of Quick Esports versus Frost Tales, previously DM Peril. This should be a pretty close matchup, really.
Yes, this is an exciting match. We've got two teams tied in second place, both on 30 points, 10 wins in the season. This match, they're both already going through, as you've said, but this win could change up the seeding going into the playoffs very soon.
Yeah, and you're looking at the two teams, obviously both of them top 4. Both of them have the exact same amount of FACEIT points at 30 right now. They're joint with 0907. So it's TA at the top, Let's be honest, no one's knocking TA off that top. They've had an incredible run, so they're at the peak. They're going to stay there. It's just about figuring out where everyone else is going to filter in. And talking about TA, they have only lost one match, TA, and it was against the Impero, now Frosttails. So Frosttails are the only ones that have actually beaten TA this regular season. So this gives Quick a chance to be like, yeah, we can beat Frosttails, and then therefore, realistically, we can take that, translate it, and beat TA in the playoffs, and try and, you know, actually win the Masters division. So there's still things to play for in this match, even though both teams are secured a spot.
That's true, that's true. And while you might think that TA is right at the top, right confirmed to be the best team, the Emperors, now Frosttails, now proves that any team can win against any team in any match at the top of this bracket. It's all to play for, so who knows who's going to win this match, who knows who's going to win in the playoffs. It will come down to this.
Well, we have some information rolling in. First map going to be Lijiang, Unshocked. And it looks like Frosttails, they have started with their bans. Juno is the first ban there, coming up from them. Yeah, I mean, a pretty solid first ban. You know, Juno's really popular right now. Lots of backlines can be played there with the Juno. I've seen a lot of Juno Ana, actually, which has worked quite well for teams. So just starting out with a Juno ban, I think that's a pretty safe ban as well for Frosttails.
Yes, the Juno can fit into a lot of playstyles. So if you're banning the Juno, then you know you've got a different idea in mind, a different way of composition you can play, and you're taking that move quickly. And we can see the second ban coming in is Junker Queen. Not quite sure who is banning which team, which hero each, but these should be banning any sort of brawl composition, both these heroes. Fast gameplay is being blocked out of the match. You should see something different in this.
We do have some insider information to make it easier for us, our observers. Let us also, it was Quick that banned Junker Queen, and Frosttails that banned Juno. So we've got the insider information to make it easier for us to dissect what FACEIT's telling us. So bans are set, players are going to get set, and we'll have a look at what each team's running. Obviously, they've got more than 5 players each, but they usually have their starting lineups that we're used to. And yeah, this could either be a blowout for one of these teams who proved that they're head and shoulders above the rest that are below them, or this could very easily go all 5. This could very easily be back and forth throughout this entire matchup. And I think, harkening back to what you had mentioned, sometimes it does come down to the day, to the day of play and what the players are feeling in their minds. Are they going to be playing too safe, knowing that they're already in the playoffs, and really it doesn't matter too much if they win or lose? Is that going to play into effect, or are we going to see them actually lock in and be like, no, we want to prove that we're better than Frosttails and lock in, get the win here? So we'll be rolling in shortly.
That's true. Now, both teams already sorted, loading into the game. We're going to be hopping in very shortly. Lijiang Tower is on the cards. As we go in before... Oh, no, we are going in right now. No need to ad-lib. Our game is here.
No ad-libbing required. Yeah, so just quickly run down the players there. Quick Esports, they're running Dip, Asuna. That's no drop. Okay. We've got Willis, Yoham, Natsuki. So pretty standard setup. Frosttails, we're going to see Gogo, Crocs, Pack, Kiwi, and Kyo. So pretty standard setup from both teams. What are we feeling here on this map type, on this sub map here of what the teams are rolling?
Pretty similar compositions, same heroes, only difference is the tank, the Orisa versus the Malga. Which one can we see? Both pretty similar heroes in their playstyle, but we'll have to see how it goes down in the battle.
Already see Snowdrop just blinking in from afar, just getting the energy up on that railgun to look for an initial pick. All about staging for that. Dip has actually went a little bit low, actually gets followed up on Pack, who gets the melee in there, and now you're just going to see Frosttails push in. They're not going to feel the pain. of that Genji, being able to burst down the rest of the damage, and yeah, they're just going to clean up and get that first point.
Yes, you saw Frosttails rush right in, close themselves around Quick Esports very quickly, and that's how they got control of the point so quick, got the quick kills in that they needed, and they've got control for moving forward. Maybe the Malga is stronger, maybe they just hit their shots. We'll see as Quick Esports are coming back into the fight now. Moving towards the point
He was even
around
being a
the
bit
edge.
cheeky. Yeah, he was even being a bit cheeky in the chat there, saying, wrong comp, you guys should switch. He was leveled up here on the railgun, almost gets a shot off. Crocs is taking a lot of damage, is going to have to back up early there. Means that slam engage isn't available momentarily. Willis knows that, is just taking position here, but struggling to find a good way onto point without taking too much pressure. As you see, there's the charge now reset right into the backline. Trying to get any of these squishies as Natsuki goes down. A good javelin spin there from Willis is going to keep Crocs controlled. Gogo getting hit by javelin as well. Willis is just cleaning up house right now on the point, and now get them the flip.
Yes, Quick Esports kept very close and together right around the Orisa. The strength as a core managed to allow Willis to pop off in the moment, hitting all the shots, all the spears, and all the team kept off the point. Even there, you saw...
Oh, Kyo took Yoham down. Snowdrop was like, yeah, I don't like that you did that. Gets vengeance quite immediately. Willis on 23 HP is going to have to back up. Of course, what they lost was Yoham, which is their main source of healing. It's going to be an aggressive sound barrier. It's matched, though, immediately by Gogo, and the fact that they're playing into Kitsune Rush by Kiwi is going to cause them issue, especially if Snowdrop going down there. The Boop actually being the one to finish off. Blade was filled out by Dip. They did take Pack down, but without Natsuki, they don't have the speed to really engage further, and they're going to have to back up.
Yes, it really feels like Frosttails are fighting all over the place. The Lucio is trying to fight other characters. The Genji is hopping around on the high ground. This is when they're hopping around, they're getting the kill picks off early. That's when they're winning these fights.
Oh, just ran into the bag, got the cage, which at the very least splits off the team, but... looks like Natsuki actually got completely stuck there between the spaceship and the cage, and they're just cleaning off now. And the fact that they had the overclock, they didn't get the chance to even use it as well. Frosttails were definitely just a better understanding of what they were wanting to do than Quick Esports, and made it a very one-sided affair so far.
Not much you can do there. The Malga is a lot better. In that composition, a bit of BM in the chat, maybe Crocs trying to say the Orisa counters Malga, but no, we're going to see Willis switching over to the Malga. But we do see Crocs changing as well. We're not going to see a Malga mirror, we're going to see Crocs on the Hazard maybe. Are we going to see this in the match? This might keep it interesting. Maybe that was a prediction. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe throwing it in the chat, try and get Willis to change, and then you're switching up as well. You're playing around their mental and their picks.
They're getting attacked in every facet of the game. Physically in the map, mentally in the chat, and now of course you see the Hazard is up there. Willis is just going to take position on the Mega on the outside there. And they're just going to play this one slow. Meanwhile though, Dep... Oh, Fox actually has to be careful there, didn't fall into the pond. That could have been fun. Not for them though. That's not how you'd want the fight to start. Willis takes Pack down, it's traded out. Kyo is off of the map. Hello? Where did Kyo go? After all that talk in the chat, you wouldn't want to see that happen to you.
This fight is all over the place. We can't tell who's winning, but it is Quick Esports who get control of the point first. Frosttails are kept up in their little hut over to the side, protecting their last fight. They're having to have to rotate out, reposition with their team. All players are revived and back. Can Keurig hit the point this time? Maybe. Some big shots to be hit once the fight starts.
Yes, and
just poking around.
Of course, like, Sojourn is like so popular right now. Very strong hero, really won in the perks in the mid-season. Didn't do too much to change that either. There was no real nerfs to anything, and Kyo is feeling the benefit of it as they take Snowdrop down. A keen headshot there. I imagine they're at the railgun. Crocs taking Willis down, and again, it's all about just creating enough space for your player on the Sojourn to be able to build up their own railgun and find that headshot.
In the end, it all comes down to who can hit the shots, who's got the better aim. Kyo says, yes, I know I can win this battle. I've got the headshots incoming, and that gives the win almost from the first kill. Frosttails just cruised in, and then all of the team hitting, very important.
Sunfire's ready as well. Atsuki's just a little bit behind again, though. There it is, Snowdrop now, taking Kiwi out immediately. Wait, was the rush cancelled? I don't see it on the map. I think rush was actually cancelled. Oh. Yeah. What do you call that? Kitsune Jacks? Like, that's Fox Jacks? They're still in... Yeah, they're still in decent control here as they're unable to really apply pressure on the point, but once Pack is down, that's going to give them enough. They have invested their own Kitsune Rush because they realize that they do need the edge. Sound barrier from both sides there matched to just keep control. I'd say you're pretty happy with that. If you're Frosttails, that could have been a lot worse in terms of the resource trade.
Yes, Frosttails know they haven't got the Kitsune Rush to match. No, they've got the sound barrier. They're just going to give up the fights, not take any kills, so they can come in with their own fights, now with their own ultimates. And hence is where they're fighting.
Snowdrop eventually finds Go-Go. Crocs had used the downpour, but I guess the rain did go away. Ended up in Spain and not Lijiang Tower because no one was caught by it. Everyone had their umbrellas up.
This is a much closer point on this one. We're seeing the hazard mirror now. Not quite sure where they changed, but much same composition now. Kyo hits the shot to open up the fight again. It's up to the surgeon.
Kyo is finding two. Actually, right in the back of the team there. Willis, meanwhile, finding Kyo, so is trying to like trade there. Could downpour if they want to keep going. Feels like they don't need it. It's 90% though, so you want to be using it. No one's caught by it as the TP goes out. Kitsune Rush on point. Going to force Willis into a tough spot. They decide to fight into the Kitsune Rush, and of course they're going to go down. But you're happy with that, right? 99% on the board, and they use Kitsune Rush.
Yes, that's right. Crocs was right on the point as a big piece, getting all of the kills as anyone tried to step onto his point. He says, no, this is my point, I'm keeping this series going. It's still in the hands of Quick Esports with a high percentage, but a good chance for Frosttails to match their 99% if they can. They're going to try and play early now.
Oh. Yeah, Frosttails are just going in deep, but the wall was perfectly placed by Willis to cut Crocs off from the space. Snowdrop didn't get too much done. Dep didn't get too much done with their overclock, and is going to mean that Snowdrop can come in immediately and take Kyo out. Blade from Pack, though, is what could turn it around. Low HP, has to be careful. You see Pack flirting with death. Eventually will go on a date with them. Now it's just a hazard on point, slashing Kiwi out of the map. They're going to get control here, and this is what we wanted to see from Quick Esports. Perfectly placed wall. Oh. Willis is just peak right now. Their mechanics, their placement of their abilities are so good right now.
Yes, that final fight was very difficult. Crocs was missing, having died very soon early. So Quick Esports were very quick to get onto the point right in the name. They got control, and they managed to pick off. As Crocs was there into the fight, it was already lost. There was no chance, and we're going to see this end on the final point of Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and
we're keeping the hazards as well.
Quick saying as well that like we're not going to go down without a fight. That first sub map was very one-sided for Frosttails, but they brought it even.
5, 4,
A lot of these fights we're seeing, it comes down to who can hit the surgeon rails. Down onto the first kill often can spell the entire fight. And then it's the Genji which closes the next. So will this continue? Let's see.
Oh, well, that's a big slash right onto Snowdrop, who got caught out there. I'm not quite sure if they didn't have their slide available. They got caught out very quickly, and they're just going to go down also. And this is immediately the fight going over to Frosttails, and D. Willis is just trying to see if they can escape. But with that wall placement, they're going to get taken out. A quick control and a tactical crouch as well, of course, from Crocs, as the flame continues.
Yes, maybe one of our French-speaking followers can translate what they're saying. We don't know, but I'm sure there's some heated arguing going on right now between the French players on both teams.
Oh, Willis is so low, gets the Suzu, but it won't be enough. I think it maybe went a little too far in without an escape plan, and the follow-up wasn't quite there from either Dip or Snowdrop, as they're just getting pushed all the way back to their spawn.
Fighting right up there, but they're gonna get back out of there. Now the rest of Quick is returning onto the point, getting their positioning on. But no! Crocs running into the back. Yeah.
Crocs is just like mucking things up there. Natsuki goes down, and now you don't have your speed. Frosttails just have the Quick Esports playbook in their hand, and they're reading it right there. And Crocs is just twisting the knife right now as well.
Crocs owns this lobby, and he knows it. He is playing with fire, and he is playing well. He's got the ultimate. I think he's looking for any sort of pick to flank on this fight.
And it's gonna be a big ult fight here. Kitsuniers will start it, but Yoham's decided they're done sitting around and waiting to lose. They're going to take initiative. Yoham does get caught out there without the TP. Crocs is just going to back up, and finally some percentage on the board for Quick Esports. And they have held on to some of their key ultimates to do so, so it's not looking awful for them. But again, it's going to be a big ult fight coming up.
Only the Kitsune Rush invested. That's less than what Frosttails put into the fight. It's a good ult economy for Quick Esports. They've got the advantage holding. They might be able to hold this for a while. Big advantage now.
Such a good point about the ultimate. It's a sound barrier. One of those available is going to keep Side of Frosttails alive. Natsuki hasn't used theirs, and their team's falling apart left, right, and center. I didn't quite catch where Natsuki was, but you would have really hoped to get sound barrier off there to keep your team alive, and it just didn't happen. And the flip's already there.
Frosttails used everything, but they don't care. That was a very big fight when they're going to get up to 99% before Quick Esports can get back onto the point. He saw at the start a very perfectly timed sound barrier from Gogo, saved his teammates right when needed, and that's how they managed to win the fight early.
And the overclock happening very far back. We know Kyo's Disruptor Orb has taken out 2. The point has flipped, to be fair, right? So you're not under too much pressure, but I mean, you still need to touch, right? Overtime is on, it's been flipped again. There's the sound barrier, good rollout from Natsuki. That might actually be enough to follow up. Gogo goes down. Okay, we're actually playing with some fire right now. But they do have to be careful of this Kitsune Rush, as Kiwi has pulled the trigger on it. That's going to allow Frosttails to keep on the point, especially if the extended healing you're going to get from the Kiriko while your Lucio's down. Willis is gone off the point, and that will pretty much be the nail in the coffin. Unless some clutch plays come out from any DPS player here, it's very unlikely that we'll see that. Frosttails very much secure on the point with 99%, and overtime ticks away. And Frosttails, previously the Imperial, will take the first match.
Yes, we saw that final fight. Frosttails knew they had 99%. They allowed the flip anytime, so they could properly position, play exactly how they wanted, right in their hands. Gonna see some replays of that map now. Let's see how it came down.
Yeah, I mean, lots of good plays here, but ultimately, I would say overall, Frosttails seemed pretty confident. Quick Esports, obviously, they had their best show on Guardians. They want to kind of lean into what worked there and keep up with finding whatever sauce it was. And there's a replay of Crocs teabagging. God, I want to twist the knife even further. But a small announcement here. It's already been announced on Twitter. So if you haven't seen it, this is the first you're hearing this. If you're a Quick fan, you'll love to hear that Quick are launching their website. So we're launching our website. It's basically like a hub, right? Everything related to Quick. It's where you can get fixtures, all relevant information about the upcoming matches as well. You can find where all the live streams are going to be. You'll also be able to get VODs from previous matches as well. There's going to be... Basically, this is the dedicated heart of the team. There's going to be info on teams and players, team histories as well. So if you're interested about it and you're newer and you're not sure about the history of Quick, Literally the click of a button, you'll be able to have a wee look there. Look at player achievements, team achievements, little fun tidbits as well. And as well as, like, you know, we've all been there. We're like, what's the roster on Twitter? I can't find their tweet. Well, you can just go on the website and it's right there. Also, what's currently in the works is a merch store. It's not quite ready yet, but it's on the horizon. You'll be able to pick up some quick merch. So that's on the future. That's still things that are working in the background. So go on, check it out, and check out the official Quick Esports home at the new webpage. So very exciting. Lots of things are happening behind the scenes, and I guess it's finally been revealed.
Yes, it looks amazing. Having a quick browse over this website, which is live right now, there's a lot you can find about Quick Esports. So interesting if you're a fan of Quick Esports, fan of Overwatch, or the other esports which you play into. So do check this out in your spare time. But now we are into our next match, which is Havana.
Yes, well, the oh jeez, Crocs is really just chatting a lot. Yes. So check out the website. Have it on your upper monitor while we load into Havana. Quick Esports are down a map right now. Frost Tales are up 1-0. Our scoreboard just has to swap that over really quick. So really, this is a chance for for Quick Esports to turn it around, to give a bit more fight, like we saw in Lijiang Gardens, right? We want to see the Lijiang Gardens Quick Esports. The rest of Lijiang was a bit one-sided.
That's true. The bans for this map we've seen Ramatra and Widowmaker. Kyo saying in chat, why ban Widow? I paid 50 euros for the mythic skin. We're saying it too. We're gonna miss those heroes. But maybe we can see something good here. Not a traditional composition for Havana. We're seeing the Queen Mirror banned in the first map. But wow, fighting up very close in the spawn.
Yeah, going for that close hold just to get as much time as possible here, but for Frost Tales, it ain't working so great. Perhaps they were really banking on that Widow before it got banned by Quick. And for reference, Frost Tales responded by banning Ramatra, but Wellis is on the Junker Queen where they're comfortable.
Yes, a Quick Esports managed to stay right inside the spawn. Frostal surrounded them, but did not manage to get any of the kills. Right out they go. Not the close hold is not going to work this time around. They're going to have to recontest, but already now moving halfway up with Havana. Up this long straight, which is difficult to play around. This is good for Quick Esports going into the fight.
That was a big dash there. You could have imagined a lot of follow-up on it, but theirs weren't quite there yet. And Rox is positioned. They've cleaned off that high ground with a nice rotation. Means Pack can use that to play around both Rod. Kyo does actually have the High Noon as well, so they can use that with some speed and a shout as well to get some space. Kyo doesn't need to use it because Kyo will land those shots either way with the Peacemaker. Quick Esports took their foot off the pedal for a moment, and Frost Tales definitely took advantage.
Closed around very quickly there. They got the kills they needed. These fights are very one-sided. You see a little bit of brawling, but once the first kill comes in, quickly the team falls down. So it really is important who gets the first pick in this fight with this composition on the mirror. Ultimate on the board. What's going to be popped first?
Yeah, quite a few available. Shout starting up. Kyo is actually hiding on the side. A Suzu protects Kyo. And the Snowdrop stays alive as well. Kitsune Rush starting from Yoham here. Kiwi could mirror it, but Frost Tales have just decided to use that speed to back up momentarily. It's a bit risky because Pack goes down. Crocs finds Natsuki, but the blade goes down. You've got a blade, I've got a knife. Goes down, and Crocs will not stop chatting in the main chat. That is hilarious.
Crocs has some major beef with these enemies on dip. More some beef from a previous LAN in France, I believe. And I guess the story is the same as is being chatted, but it's not over for dip in Quick Esports. They've got over a minute left on the board. They've got the Queen roll coming in soon, and the Sound Barrier. Can play very well with these.
Kyo just about got the support to stay alive there. Meanwhile, it's Natsuki that goes down. That Kitsune Rush we mentioned that Kiwi held on to, well, now they can use it in this fight and make it very clean for themselves. Really just secure it. Almost a stagger onto Dip, and they've still held on to Blade, Rampage. They're still looking really good and healthy in terms of their arsenal.
Still pretty deadly, yes. And the one up is 4 ultimates for Frost Tales, with only 3 on the horizon for Quick. The blade difference Pack can use this very quickly, is very effective, especially we've seen it on the previous map. Maybe Pack can win this fight.
Did Kyo just high-noon himself? No, it wasn't a deflect, sorry, I'm tripping. But Crocs is going to get the Rampage out, Natsuki goes down, but still, it is a bit of a chaos fight right now. With Crocs still up, anything could happen. It's the tank you have to be aware of, and Crocs has shown that, well, they're proficient in yapping, they're also proficient in actually playing these characters, as they can turn a fight around as they just take a moment to back up, but it is overtime right now on the point. Anything can happen here. Dip really needs to build this blade. Yoham, very close to going down, does get Kitsune Rush just before Kyo takes them down. That could be enough to keep Quick in it. It's a very good ultimate, but they are struggling to find the follow-up. They're getting out-positioned, out-flanked right now. Dip really needs to step up for the team. Needs to find this blade. Looking for the elimination onto the Lucio, but Gogo hits them with the headshot. So even with the blade, they can't get it done. Damn, Frost Tails are just looking so strong right now. And with that Kitsune Rush, that is a fox-sized nail in the coffin. Ah, wow, that was very close for Quick turning it around, but Frost Tails, they're just on another level right now. Like, they are such a difficult opponent to go against. Again, the only team so far in this division that has beaten TA, and they're showing us why.
It really comes down to individual moments for Frost Tales. Is it Kyo's shots? Is it Gogo hitting a kill on the Genji on the side of the point? Each player on Frost Tales is popping off today, and it's proving here in the results so far. A great hold. Frost Tales are going to be so strong on this first point. They have not got long to fight up this point. Maybe only 2 fights won required from Frost Tales.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, this is
Could go either way.
not an easy spot to be in. What I would say is, like, harkening back to the old Havana, back in the yonder days, the boomer days of Overspawn. If you saw this, you'd think, oh, you can full hold Havana, very full holdable. Times have changed a bit. It's a bit more difficult to do that.
Yes, it's not easy for any team, so it's very big efforts from Frost Tales to manage this. We might see something different though. Quick Esports holding the defense with an Orisa instead of a Junker Queen. What are they trying? We'll have to see. It could be a different story. Kyo yelling in the chat, guys, I can't pick Widow. A very signature pick for Kyo. Very signature pick for this map. It's a shame they're not missing, but they're still working.
That Zen pick from Kiwi caused a lot of pain for Willis early on, forced Suzu out early, and the rest is history. I can imagine that Kiwi's even just going to swap off the Zen. I think they pretty much just use that to burst down the Orisa.
Wow, that was a very big change. Not expected from Quick. They had no idea what to do with the Zen. Managed to get the damage in so fast. Back onto the Kiriko now for this open fights in the right positions. Also, the Sigma change might be different. Trying to hold them in their spot. Play differently.
It's going to be difficult though, because once Junker Queen's on you and you've used your Gravitic, like, it's not going to work out. And yeah, Hands goes down, so Willis finds him with the Gracie. Frost Tails are just looking very strong, right? We talked about this being a top 4 game between the top 2 teams, between two of the top teams. Quick right now are finding out that apparently there are levels to this game. Frost Tails, previously the Imperial. This is a team that you could very well imagine goes to the playoffs, beats TA again, and could potentially get to a top 2 spot, maybe even win in the playoffs, and then fight their way into OWCS. They weren't too far away from it, and they could do it again with the wild card ability of being able to promote upwards. You never know what any of these teams will end up doing.
Yes, this French roster is so strong. We're seeing great popping off players. I know this is the Quick Esports channel, but I might have to say, Vive la France, because I am loving watching this roster. I love these players and how they play. It is exciting, and I want
Yeah.
to see more of it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, at this rate, it's probably only going to be one map more today. Unless, I mean, quick, right? We've seen them fight from under before. This isn't a situation where they necessarily need to win anyway. Uh, they are already in the top 8. They don't need this win. But again, quick have brought it back from under before, right? The old David versus Goliath reverse sweeps have been happening a fair few times that I've watched with my very own eyes. So it's not without question, right? And as much as Frostales, they're doing really well, they're also yapping a lot. And overconfidence, hubris, is one of the key weaknesses in a team that's good that another team can exploit to basically shock them and surprise them a little.
Yes, that is true. And I believe our next map is Saravasa. Might be. This map is very versatile, can be different. We've also seen, while the last map Havana was very one-sided, on Lijiang Tower it was not the same story. Quick Esports are not out of this. They have a chance to turn this around. Maybe Saravasa is the place they can drive their composition in the way they want to, drive the fights in their direction, and they start winning in this series. It's not over at all. And also, maybe the overconfidence from Frostales is going to continue too much. Maybe Crocs is going to be caught typing too much and Quick Esports could get their footing again. If that happens, then this could go to the 5-map series. It's all up to this.
I mean, people know that I'm Mr. Positive, right? I'm always looking at what could potentially happen, and I do think Quick Esports have it within them. They've got the players necessary. The players have the skills. They're in the top 4 for a reason, right? They didn't just happen to be one of the best teams in the Masters division. They are one of the best teams in the Masters division. So even at this stage of being 2-0 down, you can't count them out really. It would be a bit too fast to do so. We are getting some bans in. It looks like Farah Lucio are the bans there. Not sure who did what. Apparently Crocs is saying in the chat that they're going to play Roadhog.
A little bit of teasing. Yes.
Maybe.
I love it.
Okay, so it's Frostales that banned Farah. Quick banned Lucio. So that's the information that we have there. So is this the final map, or is this the battleground where Quick Esports fight from under and begin the journey to what will need to be a reverse sweep? As the heroes begin to lock in, it's looking pretty much like what we've seen from Quick Esports, with a little bit differences in the backline there.
Yes, Frostales looks so comfortable right now, highlighting their favorite picks. Kyo, they've been trying to play the Widowmaker on this map. Not a common occurrence, but it might happen on their favorite heroes, rolling out, nope, onto the Surgeon, but still they're going to be very comfortable on these heroes, this composition in this match. Only difference is
like
the tank.
Yeah, I feel like Kyo probably had to get talked down from that and say, no, let's not play Widow, let's actually lock in and finish the match. I can imagine that being a conversation in their VC there. Shout comes out from Crocs. Step in a bit of a predicament, needs to back up momentarily. It's Natsuki that gets caught out, though, as again, this kind of like double split you're seeing from Frostales is back quick all the way up into these awkward spots where Willis gets cut off, gets taken out by Carnage, and you know, you've just got the 2 DPS just trying to survive for their life. Dip is looking to escape here, playing Dead by Daylight.
Wow, chased onto the other points. Pack is not letting Dip go for free. Dip has been under fire from so much on the Genji mirror and in the chat from Crocs throughout the entire series. Poor guy, must think. Now
Well,
back in. Kyo is in the back of the team.
Oh yeah, Kyo isn't back in the team. It's Dip though that starts to clean up as Pack and Kiwi go down. Dip fighting with a vengeance there and is going to be on the point to turn it around. Willis is there. Crocs is in a interesting spot. I wonder what Quick are going to do about this.
They really feel like they're playing in their home ground right now. Frosttails are playing exactly how they want to. They can sit anywhere. It's not always working, but they really feel like it is going to work, and maybe it will. Saw Kia all over the place, Croc all over the place. Now they've got to rotate in difficulty, but they're collapsing in so quickly onto the Junker Queen.
And part of me's thinking, did we give too much away? Was there an opportunity with Crocs being behind us that we didn't really utilize? But that's all in the past now as this fight's teeing off, and you can see the level of the railgun being built very quick by Keo, who's looking for those keen shots. Meanwhile, Pack is going to dual outlet and take them out. A big rampage is going to be pretty much what clears it off. Kitsune Rush from Quick Esports can't do much against everyone being antied, and Johan doing their best to take Keo out. But yeah, very quick, clean fight as well from Frosttails. They have pretty much something of their ultimates.
Yes, it's going to be a chance for Quick Esports to return, though. They might have this Rampage, they might have this Genji Blade, but no support ultimates. That's the difficulty. Because Frosttails have both their support ultimates and both their DPS ultimates. They can choose to invest as much as they want. If they want to use everything, confirm this point, they can.
Well, Pack's starting to confirm it with slicing down the Junker Queen, dethroned and decrowned. Kiwi taking out Yep, Johan gonna go down also. That'll be the first point on Servasa towards Frosttails, and it really doesn't look like the story's changing. It's looking like it's just continuing to be Frosttails proving how dominant they really are.
Yes, the more the series goes on, the longer it feels like it's going to be Frosttails in the lead. They are dominant, and they know it. Only one ultimate needed out of 4 in that previous fight, and they closed the point in their control. Now in this neutral though.
Yeah, in the neutral, Snowdrop takes Kiwi out immediately. Kiwi, who of course is their main source of heals, there's no Suzu, and very importantly, had Kitsune Rush. Crocs is just going to down immediately because you can't really stay up without your sustain, and that's going to clear this point for them. And they really needed that fight, actually, in terms of the ultimates. Now they're in a really good economic position.
Yes, when it comes down to the simple fights, Quick Esports seem to be right there. It's a tactical trap from Frosttails. When these ultimates are in play, they know how and when to use them, and they get the impact almost every time. And this time, investing the Ray.
Ooh,
there we go.
Orbital Ray and the Blade, but Dip went around that corner and just momentarily couldn't get the healing required to stay alive. Goes down with a burst of damage, and Frosttails have brought out their Kitsune Rush. Willis is just trying to turn it around with a Rampage. Rampage didn't find too many. The reverse Rampage did find Willis, and that's going to be enough, right? You can take down the tank from that and clean up there. 70% on the board for Quick Esports, so not awful for them, and they still have some things to play with, but a good retake there from Frosttails.
The duo of Crocs and Pack held it down on the point. They could not die as much as Quick Esports tried. They used ultimates, they used firepower, but Pack and Crocs were in such strong form, and they kept it going. They've got enough time to play early, try and keep the percentage in their favor, because they know if they lose it, they could lose the whole point.
Overclock here. Doesn't have the extra energy, but it wouldn't matter anyway. They got sliced out of it. Looking like Fruit Ninja there. Pack's just slicing away, takes down one, and I mean the damage and follow-up is enough there. Dip actually gets a little bit of a confidence boost there by taking Pack out, but it won't lead to a flip.
Yes, I think Dip needs that to keep the mentality high in this series, otherwise it's going to feel so difficult for any chance. Is there going to be any opportunity for Quick Esports to get onto that point? They've only got a few seconds to do so, so quick these points in Flashpoint. It does look like they're going to try and invest the fight.
They are going to fight for this one. They don't have too much in the arsenal to play with. And this Suzu, just a moment too late, just a slight moment. And that's all that Frost Tales need. They're a team that picks up on moments, that sees moments of opportunity, and they'll take them. And that's what they did. And now it's 2-0 down in the series and 2-0 down in what could very well be the final map of the series.
This could be over in a second. Frost Tales, so strong, they're not messing around. They want to close this as quick as they can. 3-0 on Flashpoint, 3-0 in the series is on the cards here. 1 point deciding it all. The D.Va switch, we've seen about the 6th tank from Willis in this series, trying every option to see what might crack the code of Frost Tales.
Well, Kyo finds Yoham. A big rampage from Crocs. There's not going to be Suzu for it. Yeah, that just cleans it up. Willis and Asura went down to it. Dip as well, and Crocs is just looking so confident in their ability on tank right now. They're cooking up a storm.
Turning and tapping, Crocs finds a kill on every part of the point. Crocs is leading this team, the one tank, proving it is the center point, the masthead of Frost Tales right now. And it is continuing through the entire series from the first fight to the last, which could be soon, getting up to almost 50%. There's not much chance for Quick Esports to continue.
Yeah, Blade just a solo kill Kyo. I feel like that was necessary for the mental to just solo Blade Kyo there, and it does open them up, especially with the overclock being ready. So there is plan behind it beyond that of just targeting Kyo for the fun of it. The beam from Gogo is basically going to pause the advance of Quick Esports. You can't really fight beam if you don't have something to kind of counteract it. Kyo's back and immediately finds Natsuki, and the fact that Kyo pulled their overclock before Quick did kinda is the antithesis of what's been happening here in this series. The fact that they were out at the start of this fight and were able to get back quick enough, and yeah, they can't touch in time. Overtime ticks away, and that is a pretty definite 3-0 from Frost Tales. And they were looking like as warm as can be. They're ready, they're primed, and they're gonna do quite well in that playoffs if they go against TA. I think that's gonna be an incredible matchup once that rematch happens. And you can see why that they're the only team that has beaten TA. They've just had a bit of a rockier time than TA and not had as much of a clean slate. But you can see why people are big on Frost Tales, previously the Impero, because they just play that well. They did it confidently, and love it or hate it because of their yapping, they are that good.
Yes, maybe this is the best team in the Masters League right now, as we can see. They are absolutely a level above every team. Okay, Quick Esports are one of the top teams in the league right now. They got destroyed today. Individual performances from every player. And that's why we saw them winning 3-0 on every single map. It feels like just the 1 point on Legion Towers, all Quick Esports have to their name.
Yes, well, Quick Esports, they got 3-0'd. It was actually Frost Tales that were quick as a hiccup today because they're not paid by the hour, are they? They made it as clean as they could be. The closest we saw these teams was on Lijiang, actually, which is kind of shocking considering the points on Lijiang were still one-sided. And, you know, with teams being able to see their future beyond this Masters division, that they can fight to the playoffs, get a top 2 spot, and then fight to get into OWCS. Like, Frost Tales, if they play at their best, they're beating some of those OWCS teams. Like, I'm not going to play coy about it. They will beat them, and they will get into OWCS if they continue to play this strong. So, that's exciting, because I keep yapping about it, I keep saying it, but I will not stop saying it. For the first time in Overwatch history, instead of us being excited about just a particular player going up to the Overwatch League, now a whole team can go from Masters Division to it's like so exciting. It's so cool. We can get a wild card team, and then just kind of strikes out of nowhere and just starts being OWCS teams. Let's go. I'm excited for that, and certainly I would say Frost Tales are one of the teams that could potentially be that team in EU.
And yes, I agree, and it's definitely in their cards to do so. They definitely have their eyes set on OCS. They just barely missed out on it in the qualifiers, open qualifiers, not too long ago for Stage 1. And Stage 2 might be where they make their entrance. We might see two French teams in OWCS, with the top of Team Peps already in there solidifying their spot. They know each other already. A lot of interactions in the French scene as well, their own lands as well. The French scene is rising, and it is rising strong in these years.
That'd be fun to see, actually. I'd actually be quite fond of that. The Scottish and the French, we go way back. But nonetheless, GG's to Frosttails. And Quickcell have some matches this week, so there's a chance for them to recover. Although one of the other matches is against 0907, another top 4 team. So, like, I'd say Quick Esports schedule, they didn't have the easiest last week compared to what I've seen other teams potentially have. But we will be back tomorrow. It's Wasp that we're up against there. And then 0907, that's the last game of the week. But if you want to keep up with Quick Esports, there's now a brilliant way to do so on the website. There's a link to it in the tweet on Quick Esports, at Quick Esports _no. You can click that link, you go to the website, and you get all the updates to see how Quick do on this final week of regular season and cheer them on into the playoffs. But nonetheless, that is us on this production tonight. Thank you to Westy and Jay for running things in the background. Thank you, Cavo, for joining me as well. And thank you all for watching. And don't forget to laugh loud and love yourself, folks. Good night.
Bye bye.